Hey, what's up YouTube? It's King Vita here, and I'm back with another review. And this time, I'm reviewing the Saban's Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin White Ranger. So, there is the White Ranger, and obviously, we'll take a look at the packaging, as always. So there is the White Ranger package, which has the White Ranger on here. It says Power Rangers Lightning Collection, and I believe this is the new logo they're using. I could be wrong. Somebody let me know in the comments. Mighty Morphin White Ranger. Coming on the side of the packaging, you have that exact same shot of the White Ranger. Up the back, you have your obligatory product shot, which it's kind of weird because they actually have the product shot but not the bio on it. That's interesting. On the side of the packaging, you have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers right up there. And you also have a picture of the White Ranger, which is cool because it's half of his face, but it wraps around the package, as you can see right there. So that's interesting. On the bottom, you have a bunch of useless stuff, as always. On the top, nothing. It's just yellow. So, there's that. Warning! Small parts, not for children under 3 years old. Very important. Okay. Basically it. So, there is the Mighty Morphin White Ranger. So let's take a closer look at this guy. So there is the White Ranger. Let me zoom in here. Now he does look pretty cool. I mean, he looks like he does in the show. Very nice detail here. Got a little paint chipping there, but that's just my copy. Let's look around. Got his boots right there. Very nice all-around figure. Very well made. Even has his bands around his biceps here and there, as well as the gauntlets here and here. Got his golden belt with his holster, and it's in this bendy plastic, so that's pretty cool. And the holster actually has a hole through it. It's made to hold his accessories, and we'll look at those in a minute. Got his dragon coin, white tiger coin on his chest. That's awesome. So there is the White Ranger. Even got his helmet right. Really cool. So, for articulation, this guy is he's very articulated, actually. His head is on a ball joint. It can do that, it can move, it can look up that far, look down that far. Could do a full 360. It's on a ball joint, so. Arms, could do a full 360. And what's cool about this is this part here, his armor, is this soft plastic. So it accommodates for his movements. So as I said before, his arms could do a full 360. They can go all the way, but you have to push the armor to the side in order for it to make it work. So they do a full 360 at an angle, if you count that. as a full 360. The arms can go, they can't go in and out that far, although you kind of trick the movement. Here's what I mean. Over here on the side, right there, there's this little joint that they made for extra movement, so you can go forward and back, forward and back. So what that basically does, if you combine it together with the rotation, you can kind of, sort of, get it to bend 90 degrees. I'm not sure. But yeah, he can move 90 degrees if you kind of fidget around with it a little. He's got a double jointed elbow, which can bend here and there as well. So you can just do this as well. So that's pretty cool. You could bend well over 90 degrees for the double jointed elbow. Very nice. And the wrist, he does have a wrist swivel, and it pivots. You can move it down, you can move it back up, or you could just keep it straight. Nice. His waist, it is, okay, this is pretty hilarious because I've never seen this on any other figure. His waist has a ball joint and an ab crunch, all in the exact same mold. And here's what here's what I mean. Okay, here's what I mean. See this little part here? These little hinges here on the side? That's the ab crunch. Which, you got a pretty massive ab crunch. And if you go on the back, that's basically as far as he can move. That's awesome. But if you fidget around with him a little more, see, he can move sideways due to the ball joint. So that's pretty cool. I've never seen a figure with an ab crunch and a ball joint all in the exact same mold. So that's pretty cool. In my experience, you either get one of both. I don't know what made them use this feature on this toy, but it's much appreciated. Much appreciated. Most toys should actually follow this mold and do that more often. Very well made. Let's see. Hips, they are on a ball joint. They can go that far. They can go straight. They can't really go that far back. They can just go straight because the way this is molded, it goes, stop moving, it goes around the hips and it just goes to a halt right here. So because of that, his legs can only be straight and forward that far. They can't really move back. So there's that. You have a hip rotation. You have a double jointed knee. So it can move here and there. Although it is pretty hard to move this one just because it's, I don't know why, but the knee here. Let me zoom in so you get a better view. Okay. The knee here, this part right there, is somehow more attached to this leg rather than the thigh. See how the knee is part of this leg here, the bottom part? I have no idea. This is made so that you can bend it. There you go. That you can do that if you wanted to, but it takes a bit of effort. So if you just do it normally, it connects to the bottom part of the leg. I have no idea why they decided to go for that movement, that joint articulation. But it is what it is. It doesn't take anything from the overall figure. It's actually really good. But still, it's just something to think about. I mean, who knew? Legs, they do rotate, or I should say boots, rotate 360 degrees. And his toes pivot. Although the joints are pretty hard. They're pretty hard to move. But they do pivot. So this guy has quite a bit of articulation on him. He does have quite a bit of articulation. So because of that, he seems to be, I guess he's pretty well made for a figure. He's not bad. He's actually made with pretty good plastic here. Now he does come with some accessories, and I'll show those off right now. He comes with an extra head right there. Let me zoom in here. There you go. This, I mean, you can say he kind of looks like Jason David Frank, but I don't know. I don't see it. To me, he just doesn't look like Tommy. And they even added the ponytail on the back, so that's pretty cool. This is when he was, I think when he became the White Ranger, as opposed to, you know, when he was later on, when he was the White Ranger later on. I think this was based on when he got the White Ranger powers. So that's pretty cool. He comes with 2 extra hands. So the first hand is, I guess, a hand you would use to hold his weapon. And the other is an open palm hand, but it's, I have no idea. It's just like, yeah, this is like this karate chop looking hand, and it's so weird. This is pretty hilarious. I don't know, I just find this really funny. Like you could basically just karate chop everybody with this. This is pretty funny. And he also comes with weapons as well. So the first weapon he comes with is Saba. And Saba, this could very well pass on as its own figure, to be honest, as its own toy. Saba looks very well made. I love the way they molded Saba. That is so, so cool. So you got the blade here, coming out from this golden holster, I'm assuming. And it's actually part of the blade, just like it is in the show. And if you move upwards to the handle, you see Saba. Let me get a closer view. That is very cool. Very well made Saba. Very nice. Also, he comes with this light effect right here. This blue light effect. Which mine is a little bended here, but that's not a big deal. That's fine. And I'll show you what this effect is for a little later. So that's basically everything he comes with, and I'll show you how each of these things work individually onto him. So first thing we're going to take a look at is his, besides everything, his armor, because his armor is actually kind of strange. His armor, I have no idea how they were able to get away with this, but the armor that's on him, the White Ranger chest plate, black and gold thing that goes all around him, it's not part of the toy. This is a completely separate piece. Watch. If this thing would stop moving, thank you. It doesn't pick up very well on video, but I'm not moving the toy. I'm just moving the armor. It's a completely different piece that's separate from the whole toy, and it's made with this soft, bendy plastic. As I've mentioned before, to allow accommodations and move the arm and such. So there's that, just like this holster that's also made in this soft plastic. So just an interesting thought to point out. Now, how these work, how these pieces work, actually, is very simple. His whole body, well, not his whole body, just his head is on a ball joint, so it can be removed and whatnot. But these are not on ball joints. They're actually on pegs. Let me show you. I have a free hand here, a couple free hands here, so I can show you. See? They're made on these really, really, really long pegs. And that's how these guys were made, to be honest. And the way that works is the same as a ball joint. These joints are extremely tight. There you go. And that's what they look like. Take the other one, which is, actually, I will take this one because this is the wrong hand, and plug it here. There you go. And what's cool about this one, what's really cool about this one, is that this one is actually meant, it's actually molded to hold Saba. So that's very cool. This is the hand I usually have him in when I display him. So yeah, I really like this hand because you can do more with this figure just by, you know, this grippy hand. I want to call it grippy hand. So that's pretty cool. Now the way this grippy hand works is it doesn't really hold it in place. It kind of just wobbles around a little. It just wiggles inside of the hand. So it doesn't really hold it, but it looks like it holds it. So first thing what we're going to do is we're going to try and make the whole Saba effect go on. So what you want to do is you want to take this hand that you already have him in, right there, and kind of just wedge Saba onto it. And he doesn't really hold it perfectly, but he holds it enough so that he won't drop it in any way. So you can definitely have him in some really dynamic poses with Saba, you know, like lift this up. You know, just have him ready for battle, ready for fighting. I was gonna say ready for fighting. Ready for battle, and just have him in a dynamic pose like such. And that's actually cool. He does look pretty cool like that. I'm not gonna lie. He looks very nice. But what you can do is take this effect piece right here, and attach it to Saba. If I could find... Alright, there's a little tiny notch in there. I'm pretty sure it's never going to pick up on camera because it's so blue and it's really dark. But there, right there, if you could see that, there's an opening right in the groove there. And that's for Saba to actually fit into. And you kind of want to just... wedge it in a way that it won't break, but it won't fall. Come on. There you are. And there you go. You can totally do that. You can have them wielding Saba and ready to attack. And that's pretty amazing in and of itself. It's a great effect, and it works. Let's study. Yes, it works. It really works. Now, also be very careful with this as well, because it doesn't break. It's just soft, bendy plastic. However, I have no idea why they went with this. But the plastic they used for this material, for this effect, has some weight to it. So this can bring him down. I just tapped it and he fell. That's how much this actually weighs. So you have to keep him in a certain pose to fight gravity in a way. That way he can, there you go, he can hold it without falling over. So that's actually very cool. You can have them display like that. And there you go. There's your White Ranger. So I find that very interesting. I find that very interesting and a very nice addition to an otherwise just, you know, plain toy. They could have just... You know, they could have just gave you all of this and... Sorry about that. Phone's ringing. There you go. Sorry about that. They could have just taken this and done without it. But they decided to give you an extra... You know, an extra attachment for the money you spend for this. So that's very interesting that they went for that. Very interesting that they went for that. How I have them displayed is... Here's something very interesting about Saba himself. You can have him, like how I just showed him off, with him attacking with the blade. Or you can do the complete opposite. There you go. You just flip him down. And instead of just holding him like you would, you just turn him around. And it looks like he's talking to him. Yeah. Just like he does in the show. Yep. Lift his head. There you go. And there you have him. So that's very cool. They give you the option to do that. You know, he could just straight up be talking to Saba. Hey, did you brush your teeth this morning? Talk to me. You can have him do that. You can totally have him however you want him to. And it works. It actually works, believe it or not. It's not like a gimmick. Well, it is a gimmick. but I don't know, it just seems like it's part of the toy. It seems like this isn't just something they threw on and called it a day. They actually took their time and said, hey, Saba's in the show and he works with the White Ranger, so let's put him as a set with the White Ranger. Let's release him as a set with the White Ranger. And that's what they did. So that's a very cool idea, to put him as, you know, give him his own toy as the Lightning Collection. So that's very interesting. The Lightning Collection has some very nice figures, to be honest, as far as Power Ranger is concerned. They do them right. They're like the... Who made this toy? Hasbro. Okay, sorry about that. Hasbro. Hasbro is like the SH Figuarts for Power Ranger toys. You know, they're like, Hasbro did for Power Rangers what SH Figuarts did for Dragon Ball. It's really, really, really cool that they went with this whole silhouette of the White Ranger. And they did not miss a single detail. They actually got, they even got his gauntlets correctly. You know, they even molded in, if I can zoom this in for a minute here. They even molded in, they didn't just paint this gold. They painted it gold and they molded in the lines. See? Around the gauntlet itself. To match with the rest of the armor, as well as down here for the boots. So very nice, very, very nice attention to detail. They even added this, I don't know what this design is, but they added it on the belt. Very well made figure. They even put his coin on his chest. Right there. So you can see that no detail has been spared, you know, for figures like this. And I just noticed this now while reviewing, but they also added, let me see if I could catch this on camera. They also added the clothing molding, you know, the way the clothes fold on the body. That's amazing. That is a huge level of detail. Very well made. Very cool. Now, if I could, come on. There you go. Go over there. For a size comparison. Okay. Get him to stand here. Come on. Come on. Stand. There you go. We will bring in Mr. Refractor. Just so you can see how big he is next to Refractor. And the Lightning Collection, they're pretty decent sized figures, I'll be honest. They're not big, but they're not tiny either. They're as big as you'd expect a regular figure to be. They don't overdo it, but they don't underdo it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, there he is next to Refractor. Yeah. This isn't your show. Get out of here. Here he is next to Shockwave. And he's pretty decent sized. He's not too small, but he's not that big either. Very cool. And here he is next to the one, the only SH Figuarts Sama. Beerus is slightly smaller. He's slightly taller than Beerus. But if you count his ears, Beerus just slightly is bigger than he is. So there's something to think about. And just because, here is Ben Presto, Goku Black. And there he goes. Goku Black is so powerful, he topped him over. Poor Tommy. He doesn't deserve the hate. So there's that. So, should you buy this toy? Yes. Yes, you definitely should. This is a great figure for collecting, especially if you're a Power Rangers fan. I definitely recommend him. He's fun to play with, but, you know, for anyone that watches my other videos, you would know that I don't play with my figures. I collect them because, you know, unlike little kids that play with toys, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But I value my figures, you know. I definitely cherish my collection for figures. And, you know, I just keep him... I just keep him on display. Like I do every other figure that I own. And he's not bad at all. As far as figures is concerned, he's definitely one to get. Especially if you like the White Ranger and if you're a fan of Tommy and you follow the show. You know, if you follow the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers show and you want a figure of the White Ranger, of the White Mighty Morphin Ranger, to be more precise, but you don't have one yet. He actually goes for decent prices. It's a little varied here and there, but I'm sure if you I'm sure if you sneak around a little bit, you might find some pretty good deals on him. He does come with every other accessory I mentioned here as well, because they all come in one box. There you go. All these things I mentioned. But they're not that much. They're not like, for example, he comes with one extra head, and that's Tommy. You know, that's just Tommy's actual head. It's not like the Beerus figure, which has multiple heads, and it's super simple to lose one. This isn't the case. You can have one head on him and the other hidden away or, you know, put back in the box, which is what I do. it's very, very simple not to lose any pieces of him because he doesn't come with that much accessories. And what's cool about this is the way, obviously I have him holding Saba, but you can totally just kind of do this. Again, besides the novelty and besides showing it off, this doesn't have any purpose, but I'll do it anyway. I'll do it for you guys here in the video because I love you guys. You guys are amazing. And it even has an opening right here for the blade to get more room. Right there, if I didn't mention that. But there you go. You can have Saba at his side at the hip. You can totally do that. That's cool. That is very cool. You know, you could display them both like that. Either way, it's your toy. Do what you want with it. So, that's pretty much it. Oh, I did not show off how the head works. At least I don't think I did. But I'll show it off anyway. Let me take Saba out. Excuse me. You want to, there you go. Pop his head off, and like everything else, it's on a ball joint. Come on. There you go. Finally. So there is Tommy with his actual head. There you go. So that's what he looks like with his head, because I'm sure a lot of people want to know how does he look like without the helmet. So there you go. You just swap heads. And obviously, since I haven't used this head at all, I display him, you know, I display him with the helmet. He is a little harder. This is actually the first time I've actually done this on camera, so consider yourselves lucky that the people that wanted to see him with his regular head. But yeah, this is the first time I've ever done this, so his head is quite difficult to move because it's so stiff. Remember, this is the first time I've ever done this. I don't display him like this at all ever since I got him. This head stays in the box. This is the head I mostly use. So, there's that. But yeah, you can have them totally, you can totally have them like that. You can totally do that. And let's take a look at that head as well. How it looks on the body. Doesn't look that bad, actually. Again, it doesn't really look like Jason David Frank, at least not to me. But it's definitely worth it because, I mean, even if it doesn't look like Jason David Frank, you know, it's actually a very nice head sculpt. It reminds me of the comics, of how he looks like in the comics. So there's that. Very nice attention to detail. If you're a fan of the comics, which I definitely recommend you guys read if you haven't. Find them at your local comic book shop or what have you. Pop his head back off. There you go. There you go. back to the way it should be. But yeah, that head looks more like Tommy from the comics rather than Tommy as Jason David Frank. But yeah, they did the best they could with what they had, and I applaud them for it. I definitely applaud them for it. So, I think that pretty much covers this figure and its articulation and everything that you just saw. All of these accessories. There you go. So, there is the Hasbro Lightning Collection White Ranger. And this King Vito saying, laters.